Being a free-to-play player in Clash Royale means every card, every gem, and every upgrade matters. Evolutions aren't just small buffs, they can completely turn the tide of a match. But without unlimited resources, choosing the right cards to evolve is everything. That's why I'm breaking down the 9 cards that give the most bang for your buck, how they fit into decks, and why they're worth your time. Let's dive in, and make sure to like and subscribe for more tips. Number 9. Bat Evolution. This card might not look scary at first, but once they transform, they become absolute monsters in the air. Their evolution gives them more damage, extra durability, and a chain attack that hits multiple units at once. Insane value for just 2 elixir. For such a cheap card, their potential impact on a match is huge, especially for free-to-play players who need every upgrade to count. Imagine your opponent drops a balloon behind the Mega Minion. Normally, your regular bats would get zapped in a second, but with Bat Evolution, they survive long enough to melt both units and still leave 1 or 2 bats alive to pressure the counter push. That small advantage can completely change how a trade plays out. They're also excellent at shutting down key units like Inferno Dragon, Baby Dragon, or even Mega Knight if you time them right and keep them safe from splash damage. Pairing them with a cheap tank or distraction like a Knight or Miner helps them survive longer and maximize their value. Of course, they're not invincible. Arrows, Fireball, or a quick tornado can wipe them out instantly, so placement and timing are crucial. Despite that, their low-cost, versatility, and synergy with many decks, from Miner Control to Cycle decks, make them one of the smartest upgrades a free-to-play player can make. With just 2 elixir, they provide defense, offense, and pressure all at once. Evolving them first can turn ordinary trades into game-winning plays, punish overcommits, and make your deck far stronger without spending a single gem. Number 8. Wallbreaker Evolution. This card might look like the same old duo running straight to their doom, but once they evolve, they become absolute chaos makers. They don't just explode, they cause a massive chain reaction, dealing splash damage that can clear out swarms and chip towers all at once. For only 2 elixir, this evolution turns a simple support card into a full-on offensive weapon. Normally, wall breakers are all about quick pressure. Force your opponent to react or lose a tower chunk. But with their evolution, that threat becomes so much scarier. Let's say your opponent drops a Knight or Skeleton army to block them. Evolved wall breakers don't just hit the wall, they blast through defenses, clearing the skeletons and damaging the Knight at the same time. If even one connects, it feels like a mini bomb tower went off at your opponent's bridge. They fit perfectly in Miner Cycle, Mortar, or Drill decks, where constant pressure forces mistakes. Combine them with a Miner, and you've got one of the best cheap combos in the entire game. The evolved version even makes it harder for opponents to counter them with light spells like Log or Snowball, since their health boost lets them survive just long enough to explode. However, you still have to be smart. Cards like Bomb Tower, Barbarians, or Tornado can stop them cold if you predict poorly. The trick is to use them when your opponent's main counters are out of cycle. That's when they shine the most. What makes Wallbreaker Evolution perfect for free-to-play players is the cost-to-impact ratio. For only 2 elixir, you can force out expensive defenses, control tempo, and chip towers without spending a dime. They pressure constantly, work in tons of decks, and reward skillful timing. Number 7. Hunter Evolution. The Hunter has always been a solid defensive card, but once he evolves, he becomes a whole different beast. His attack range extends, his fire rate increases, and his shots tighten up, turning him from a close-range brawler into a long-range burst machine. Suddenly, he's not just good at stopping tanks, he dominates them. Picture this, your opponent sends in a royal giant or a balloon, maybe with some support behind. Normally, a regular hunter might take 1 down, but still leave your tower bruised. The evolved version, he clears both with time to spare. Pair him with a tornado, and entire pushes disappear before they even touch your bridge. He shines in decks that need quick, strong defense that can immediately turn into offense. Drop a Valkyrie or Knight in front of him, and you've got a scary counter push that forces your opponent to panic. He also fits perfectly in control and cycle decks, giving you a high-value answer to heavy units without spending too much elixir. Of course, he's not untouchable. Fireball, Lightning, or Swarm cards like Skeleton Army can take advantage if you misplace him. Smart positioning is key. Let him do the heavy lifting from a safe distance.
Number 6. Cannon Evolution. The Evolved Cannon is easily one of the most underrated evolutions in Clash Royale, but once you use it, you'll realize how much power it adds to any defensive setup. The moment it evolves, it gains a rotating cannon head that fires multiple rapid shots, giving it both burst damage and sustained firepower, something no other building can match for just 3 elixir. Imagine your opponent drops a Hog Rider or Ram Rider. A normal cannon would handle 1 push and then vanish, but with the evolution active, the evolved cannon melts those threats in seconds and still stands tall to stop whatever comes next. Even against giants, royal giants, or electro giants, it shreds through their health faster than you'd expect, often surviving long enough to pressure your opponent into overspending on support units. It also has great synergy with cycle decks and control decks, especially when paired with cards like Ice Spirit, Skeletons, or Archers. You can drop it, defend efficiently, and cycle back to another one before your opponent's next push. And when it's supported by something like a Tesla or Hunter, your defense becomes nearly unbreakable. Still, placement and timing are everything. The Evolved Cannon can be overwhelmed by splash attackers like Baby Dragon, Executioner, or Lightning, so you'll need to keep distractions handy or cycle quickly to protect it.
Number 5. Evolved Archers.
This card might look simple, but don't let that fool you. They're one of the strongest all-around evolutions for free-to-play players. When evolved, these 2 sharpshooters gain a faster attack speed, more damage, and a piercing arrow that hits multiple units in a line. That means they can handle swarms, air troops, and support cards all at once, giving you insane value for just 3 elixir. Picture this. Your opponent drops a balloon with a baby dragon behind it. Normally, regular archers would get taken out quickly or barely stop the push. But evolved archers? They shred through both while staying alive, letting you save your tower and even counter-push with surviving units. The piercing shot makes them a nightmare for minion horde, zappies, or witch setups since their arrows can wipe out everything in their path. They also fit perfectly into X-Bow, Cycle, and Minor Control decks, where cheap but strong defense matters most. Pair them with an Ice Spirit or Knight, and you'll have a defensive combo that stops almost any push without overcommitting. However, like all ranged troops, they're vulnerable to arrows, fireball, or poison, so smart placement is key. Keep them spaced out and use their long range to your advantage. For F2P players, evolved archers are a dream. Easy to level, cheap to use, and effective against nearly everything. Whether you're defending or starting a push, they always deliver value far beyond their cost.
Number 4. Evolved Wizard. The Evolved Wizard is one of those cards that instantly changes how you play defense. When evolved, he gains a chain lightning attack that bounces between enemies, dealing massive damage across multiple targets. It's like having a living fireball that never stops casting, melting everything from minions to electro dragons in just a few hits. But what really makes him stand out is his protective shield. The moment it breaks, it triggers a shockwave explosion that damages all nearby enemies. So even if your opponent sends in a miner, bandit, or knight to take him out, they'll still get punished by that blast. This makes the Evolved Wizard not only a deadly range support, but also a sneaky defensive trap, perfect for punishing careless attackers who try to rush him. He fits beautifully into decks that rely on counterattacks and defensive synergy. Pair him with Tornado, Ice Spirit, or Knight, and you can completely erase huge pushes in seconds. His chain attack clears the air while the explosion covers the ground, leaving nothing behind but your elixir advantage. However, timing and placement are key.
Lightning, rocket, or fireball can still take him out if you misplace him. But if you protect him well, he'll repay you with unmatched defensive control and deadly counter-push potential. Number 3. Evolved Goblin Barrel. The Evolved Goblin Barrel is pure mind games and chaos in one card. When evolved, it doesn't just send one barrel, it throws two. One is real, carrying the deadly goblins you know, and the other is a fake, meant to confuse your opponent. This simple twist turns a predictable spellbait card into a nightmare for anyone trying to defend perfectly. Picture this: you toss out your evolved goblin barrel and your opponent instantly reacts with a log or arrows, but they hit the fake barrel. Meanwhile, the real goblins land on the tower, stabbing it down for hundreds of damage before your opponent even realizes what happened. It completely shifts the rhythm of spell timing, forcing your opponent to hesitate or misplay almost every time. The fake barrel doesn't deal damage, but it serves a huge psychological purpose. It baits out spells, distracts troops, and throws off targeting, letting your offensive plays stay unpredictable. Combine that with Goblin Gang, Princess, or Rascals, and you have an endless stream of threats that keep your opponent second-guessing every move. Still, smart players can learn to read the fake barrel's slightly different trajectory, so you'll need to mix up your timing and placement to stay unpredictable. Dropping it alongside Rocket, Valkyrie, or Knight pushes can make the deception even harder to spot. Number 2. Evolved Valkyrie. The Evolved Valkyrie takes everything strong about the original and transforms her into a true battlefield monster. When she spins her axe, she now unleashes a whirlwind effect that actually pulls enemies toward her, just like a built-in tornado. It's the perfect blend of power and control. She doesn't just clear the field, she drags it right into her range first. Imagine your opponent drops a skeleton army, goblin gang, or even a mini P.E.K.K.A. and Dark Prince combo. Normally, Valkyrie would hit what's close and maybe miss a few. But with her evolution active, the evolved Valkyrie pulls everything in, locking them all in place for one devastating spin that wipes them out completely. It's brutal, satisfying, and unbelievably effective. She's also an amazing counter to bridge spam decks. Bandit, Battle Ram, Royal Ghost, you name it. Drop her in the center, and instead of chasing units around, she drags them together and destroys them all at once. Pair her with Tornado, Baby Dragon, or Wizard, and you can completely reset enemy pushes before they even touch your tower. Number 1. Evolved Knight. The Evolved Knight takes the classic, reliable Knight and transforms him into a true powerhouse. When evolved, he gains increased health, faster attack speed, and a sweeping strike that hits multiple enemies at once. He's no longer just a solid mini-tank, he becomes a game-changing defensive and counter-push unit. Imagine your opponent drops a mini P.E.K.K.A., bandit, or even a prince aiming to chip your tower. The Evolved Knight doesn't just trade, he absorbs hits, clears swarms, and punishes the push with his wide swing. That extra health lets him survive spells or support units that would normally take out a regular knight, giving you incredible value for just 3 elixir. He's perfect for counter-pushing too. Pair him with evolved archers, miner, or evolved wizard, and a small defensive trade can quickly turn into a tower-threatening push.